Today, we're going to discuss the important topic of how do I know if I'm winning with money. Now, there's lots of different ways to win with money, but these 6 foundational principles are critical for success. What are some ways that you have won with money? Do you agree with my 6 principles? Please share in the comments below. Principle number 1, having a money plan. Many people will panic to find a charger before their phone dies, but they won't panic to find a plan before their dream dies. Oh, damn! Did you know that according to Charles Schwab, only 1 out of 3 Americans have any type of long-term financial plan? And according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, in 2023, Americans saved only 3.9% of their overall income. And 80% of millennials don't understand basic money principles. Having a money plan is critical for success, because it is what provides and gives purpose to your daily money activities and behaviors. Behaviors like paying yourself first, investing 20% of your pay, and not going into consumer debt have so much more meaning if they're part of your overall bigger financial vision. Winning with money isn't an accident, and those that do win with money do it intentionally and have a plan. Create the plan or vision that you want and believe that it is possible. Then focus on the daily habits and behaviors that will get you there. You are doing better than most if you have a defined financial plan. Principle number 2, eliminating consumer debt. Now check out some of these incredible credit card statistics. According to The Street, over 51% of Americans have credit card debt that rolls over each month, meaning they're paying interest on it. 79% of Americans have at least 1 credit card in their name. And listen to this one, nearly 40% of Americans have higher balances on their credit cards than they do in their emergency fund. One of the top reasons the American consumer isn't able to win with money is because of credit card debt. And the reason for that, according to Forbes, is because the average credit card interest rate is over 27%, 27.2% to be exact. Now ask yourself this question. Would you ever go to the grocery store and ask the clerk, what are the financing terms on a bundle of bananas? Would you ever ask what the interest rate is on a gallon of milk? Well, probably not. But when you carry a credit card balance each month, this is exactly what you are doing, because you're financing your consumer purchases at an extremely high rate of interest. Inflation is real and it has made the cost of goods more expensive, but when you add another 27% to that, it's going to be really tough to get ahead. You are doing better than most if you have no credit card debt, or if you do, you have a plan to pay it off. Principle number 3, it's not an income problem, it's a behavior problem. Now listen to this. Did you know that in 2023, the average annual gross income for an American household was over $74,500 annually? In fact, there are only 4 countries with a higher gross national income per capita than the United States. And these countries have a much heavier tax rate. So how is it that over 79% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck or don't even have $2,000 saved in an emergency fund? That's because it's not an income problem, it's a behavior problem. In the United States, we have normalized fancy cars, expensive vacations, and a high consumption lifestyle, even though it's at the detriment of the American consumer. We need to learn how to live responsibly and say no to the people, places, and things that aren't aligned with our long-term financial vision. You are doing better than most if you understand the role your behavior plays in your money management. Principle number 4, money is a game and we are all players in it. Now you might know this because I reference it often, but 70% of the American economy is based off of consumer spending. And in 2024, many corporations are producing record profits. According to Business Insider, the Buffett indicator, which measures the total market cap of US stocks relative to the US GDP, hit an all-time peak of 200% recently, surpassing the previous record high of 197% set in November 2021. In other words, the United States total stock market cap of about 55 trillion is almost double the annual US GDP of 27 trillion. Inflation is real and the cost of goods and services have gone up, but these corporations understand their role in the money game and the American individual consumer does not. Corporations are winning, the American consumer is losing. Consumer spending is the highest it's ever been, even though income is also the highest it's ever been. And again, 79% of Americans are still living paycheck to paycheck. These numbers don't add up. And it's because Americans don't understand the role they play in the money game. And now is the time for the American consumer to take their power back. You are doing better than most if you understand your role in the money game. Learn your role, learn the rules, understand the pitfalls, and win the money game today. Principle number 5, today's dollars are tomorrow's millions. Young people just don't understand the power of compound interest and miss out on hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars later in life as they approach retirement. And the reason for this is they waited to invest. A mistaken viewpoint that young folks often have is they think they can catch up on retirement. Well, consider this. Someone who invests $100 a month starting at the age of 25 all the way up until retirement at the age of 65 with an average annual return of 12% will have over $1.2 million at the time they retire. And that's with only $100 a month. If that same person waits to invest until they're 35, only 10 years later, the amount would be just over $350,000. They would be losing and walking away from $800,000 just by waiting 10 years to invest. This is why it is so important to understand the power of compound interest. You are doing better than most if you understand that today's dollars are tomorrow's millions. Principle number 6, becoming financially literate. Did you know that Americans with a low level of financial literacy are late on their mortgage over 25% of the time? That's nearly one late payment per quarter. And according to Bankrate, 60% of Americans are uncomfortable with their level of savings. And listen to this, according to the Federal Reserve, 21% of Americans skip dental care because the costs are too high. Listen to me, life does not need to be this hard. The principles of financial literacy are easy to understand, but hard to implement. Paying yourself first, spending less than you make, save and invest 20% of your income, avoid bad debt. These are just a few of the basic money principles that we talk about quite frequently on this channel. Healthy financial behavior is hard because we are all playing the money game, except so few of us actually recognize that. And if you don't recognize that, it's impossible to win. And Credit Karma found that 40% of Americans are emotional about their spending. When you don't understand your role in the money game, when you're emotional about your spending, when you don't have a financial plan, you are not going to win. The chips and the deck are stacked against you. Learn how to protect, learn how to keep, and learn how to grow your money. You are doing better than most if you can become literate with money. This is Benjamin Adams with American Money 101. Until next time.